Hey folks, Sherry here. Just wanted to share this information. I received an email the other day that I thought was absolutely wonderful because it mapped out in detail the plans that Donald Trump has for America. As you well know, many people have been questioning whether or not Donald Trump actually has any real plans and real thoughts on the direction that America should take and how different things subsequently should be handled. Well, this email, and I apologize, I cannot give the credit to the original author of it because I'm not sure who that is. If someone knows, they can let me know. But over the course of the next few minutes, I'm going to share the content of that email with you in case you've not seen it. And I think that at the end of this, you will agree with me that Donald Trump is a man with a plan for America, and we're excited about that. Number one, Trump's thoughts on war. Trump believes that America should not intervene militarily in other countries' problems without being compensated for doing so. If America is going to risk the lives of our soldiers and incur the expense of going to war, then the nations we help must be willing to pay for our help. Using the Iraq War as an example, he cites the huge monetary expense to American taxpayers, over 1.5 trillion and possibly much more, depending on what sources are used to determine the cost, in addition to the cost in human life. He suggests that Iraq should have been required to give us enough of their oil to pay for the expenses we incurred. He includes in those expenses the medical costs for our military and $5 million for each family who lost a loved one in the war and $2 million for each family of soldiers who received severe injuries. Number two, the Trump military. Trump wants America to have a strong military again. He believes the single most important function of the federal government is national defense. He has said he wants to find the General Patton or General MacArthur or General Barra who would lead our military back to the strength it needs to be. While he hasn't said it directly that I know of, Trump's attitude about America and about winning tells me he'd most likely be quick to eliminate rules of engagement that handicap our military in battle. Clearly, Trump is a win at all costs kind of guy, and I'm sure that would apply to our national defense and security too. Number three, Trump on foreign policy. Trump wants a strong foreign policy and believes that it must include 7 core principles. Number one, American interests come first, always, no apologies. Maximum firepower and military preparedness. Only go to war to win. Stay loyal to your friends and suspicious of your enemies. Keep the technological sword razor sharp. See the unseen. Prepare for the threats before they materialize. Respect and support our present and past warriors. Number four, Trump on terrorists. Trump believes that terrorists who are captured should be treated as military combatants, not as criminals like the Obama administration treats them. Trump on China. Trump makes the point that China's manipulation of their currency has given them unfair advantage in our trade dealings with them. He says we must tax their imports to offset their currency manipulation, which will cause American companies to be competitive again and drive manufacturing back to America and create jobs here. Although he sees China as the biggest offender, he believes that America should protect itself from all foreign efforts to take our jobs in manufacturing. For example, Ford is building a plant in Mexico, and Trump suggests that every part or vehicle Ford makes in Mexico be taxed 35% if they want to bring it into the U.S., which would cause companies like Ford to no longer be competitive using their Mexican operations and move manufacturing back to the U.S. once again, creating jobs here. Trump on oil. Trump wants passage of the NOPEC legislation, No Oil Producing and Exporting Cartels Act, which would allow the government to sue OPEC for violating antitrust laws. According to Trump, that would break up the cartel. He also wants to unleash our energy companies to drill domestically, thereby increasing domestic production, creating jobs, and driving domestic costs of oil and gas down while reducing dependence on foreign oil. Number seven, Trump on the border. Trump believes a secure border is critical for both security and prosperity in America. He wants to build a wall to stop illegals from entering, put controls on immigration. His plan includes making Mexico pay for the wall. He also wants to enforce our immigration laws and provide no path to citizenship for illegals. Number eight, Trump's tax plan. Trump wants a radical change to the tax system to not only make it better for average Americans, but also to encourage businesses to stay here and foreign businesses to move here. The resulting influx of money to our nation would do wonders for our economy. He wants to make America the place to do business. He also wants to lower the death tax and the taxes on capital gains and dividends. This would put more than 1.6 trillion back into the economy and help rebuild the 1.5 million jobs we've lost to the current tax system. He also wants to charge companies who outsource jobs overseas a 20% tax, but for those willing to move jobs back to America, they would not be taxed. And for citizens, he has a tax plan that would allow Americans to keep more of what they earn and spark economic growth. He wants to change the personal income tax to up to $30,000 taxed at 1%, from $30,000 to $100,000 taxed at 5%, from $100,000 to $1 million taxed at 10%, and $1 million and above taxed at 15%. Number 9, Trump on health care. Trump wants Obamacare repealed. He says it's a job-killing, health care destroying monstrosity that cannot be reformed, salvaged, or fixed. He believes in allowing real competition in the health insurance marketplace to allow competition to drive prices down. He also believes in tort reform to get rid of defensive medicine and lower costs. Number 10, Trump on spending. Trump wants spending reforms in Washington, acknowledging that America spends far more than it receives in revenue. He has said he believes that if we don't stop increasing the national debt, once it hits 24 trillion, it will be impossible to save this country. 11, Trump on Social Security. Even though he says we need to cut spending, he does not want to harm those on Medicare, Medicaid, or Social Security. He believes that the citizens have faithfully paid into the system to have these services available and that the American government has an obligation to fulfill its end of the bargain and provide those benefits. Therefore, he wants to build the economy up so that we have the revenue to pay those costs without cutting the benefits to the recipients. He disagrees with the Democrats who think raising taxes is the answer and says that when you do that, you stifle the economy. On the other hand, when you lower taxes and create an environment to help businesses, they will grow, hire more workers, and those new workers will be paying taxes that become more tax revenue for the government. Number 12, Trump on welfare. Trump also wants reform of the welfare state, saying that welfare needs a safety net, not a hammock. He believes in a welfare to work program that would help reduce the welfare rolls and encourage people to get to work. And he wants to crack down on entitlement fraud. Number 13, Trump on climate change. Trump believes climate change is a hoax. Number 14, Trump on Common Core. Trump opposes Common Core. 15, Trump on life. Trump is pro-life, although he allows for an exception due to rape, incest, or the life of the mother. Number 16, Trump on Second Amendment. Trump is pro-Second Amendment rights. Number 17, Trump on marriage. Trump's view on same-sex marriage is that marriage is between a man and a woman, but he also believes that this is a states' rights issue, not a federal issue. Number 18, Trump on the death penalty. Trump supports the death penalty. Quick question, folks. Does this sound like a man without a plan to you? To me, it sounds exactly like the direction our country needs to go in order to recover and become great again. Just thought I would share this information with you today because I know there's some Trumplicans out there who are concerned that their man doesn't have a plan. The reason he doesn't get to talk about this stuff is because of the idiot media that are running wild and screaming and trying to come up and trump up all these crazy things against him. And you saw the debate. You saw how crazy that was. He doesn't get to talk about these issues, and then they turn around and say he doesn't have a plan for these issues. Well, he does have a plan. Feel free to share this. Trump, President Donald Trump, the man with the plan to make America great again.